Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
Many times we stop ourselves from visibility opportunities because we don't understand that there is room for another personal trainer. There's room for another life coach. There's room for another sleep consultant. There's room for another marketing strategist. There's room for another copywriter. There's room for another, what are you, right? Go into a library, go into a bookstore. Look how many books there are. And people are still writing books and publishing books. That's how I coached myself to publish my book. Yeah, there's a bazillion different books out there, but there is not one book with my voice and my story.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more, to make an impact with your voice in business, you're in the right place. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, empowerment coach, visibility and marketing expert, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode.
So last week, I wrapped up an amazing coaching experience. I attempted something completely different that I had never done, which was hosting 7 days of dropping daily short snippets of wisdom using the Telegram app. And I got to tell you, I was just amazed at the feedback and how fun the format was for me to think about what can I talk about every single day. And the longest clip that I put out, I think, was just shy of 20 minutes. So, and you could listen to it while you were driving. Some people were like, oh, I'm doing the elliptical. I'm, doing my treadmill. I'm doing the dishes and I'm just listening to this. So it's kind of like a podcast format. And people really, really enjoyed it. And others were already saying, you should repurpose this. You should repurpose this somehow. You should leave it open. Some people are still joining it. So if you would love some visibility tips, you can still join the Telegram app for $11. I'll probably raise this rate pretty soon here. So go on and join in as soon as possible. And so I wanted to kind of go through the 5 things that I shared throughout that week and really give you a bird's eye view of how I position myself for opportunities to find me, right? For visibility opportunities to find me. So within those 5 days, it was actually 7 days, but I had 5 days of content and then more of a recap. I talked about several different steps that you're constantly working through to make yourself visible. And even though they go into a sequence, they're actually happening simultaneously. So the very first thing is keeping your mindset in check. I mean, mindset is 80% of the battle, right? You probably heard your business coach say this, or you read in a book, or you heard this on a podcast. So when it comes to visibility, it's the same thing, right? Even if you know all the right things to do, your mind will still stop you, right? Because it's your beliefs about a certain thing that determine your reality, right? So if your belief is that people are going to hate me if I put this out there, then guess what? You're not going to put it out there and you're not going to be visible. If your belief is that I need to have everything perfect, otherwise I'm not going to put it out there, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to stop yourself. And if your belief is I'm going to achieve this and people are going to forget about it, so I need to keep doing something else and something else, that's exactly what's going to happen. You may show up, you're going to show up from that place of scarcity and also from a place of fear. And I see that there's lots of ladies that were in that 7-day experience showing up live here as I'm live on my Facebook group. So I'd love to hear from you. What were your takeaways? What was the biggest breakthrough that you had, or the biggest nugget of wisdom, or maybe there was more than one that you really appreciated and that was helpful to you? I would love for you to pop it in the comments and I will read it live. So you will be featured on the podcast here. So fears are a big thing. Even if you don't think you have a visibility fear, we all do. And I always like to say that even extroverts have visibility fears, which you'd think it wouldn't be that way, because if you're okay with being in front of people and talking to people, then that means you're pretty much immune to fears. And that's not true, because again, it's back to those beliefs, right? It shows up a little bit differently, but it's still a fear. So keep yourself in check, even if you don't want to call it a fear. If something is blocking you or limiting you from showing up more consistently, if you're not receiving visibility opportunities, so that's a good way. If you're not sure if you have visibility fears, check this one out. If opportunities are not finding you, or when an opportunity comes up, you stop yourself, then there's something there. There's something there for you to investigate, right? Whether it is a fear of rejection, a fear, perfectionism of things need to be a certain way, fear of failure, or even a fear of not being relevant anymore. And Patricia says, it was an amazing week of learning and about opportunities as well as myself. And you did amazing in the challenge, by the way, Patricia. You're putting yourself out there. I loved how, because during the challenge or that week, I gave the ladies some assignments and I told them, do this today, do that today. And I was amazed at their resourcefulness of sharing this content with their clients, sharing it on stories, going live. It was amazing. It was great. The second thing, so fears is the very first one. Keep your comfort zone in check. Where is your comfort zone? And are you pushing yourself a little bit, right? Because that's how we grow. I had an amazing coaching call with one of my mentors last week, and she says, we learn very little from success, right? We learn very little from extremely pleasant experiences. That's life. That's the way that it is. We usually learn when we put ourselves in challenging situations, and it has to be something willing, right? We have to choose that. Then the second thing that has helped me become more visible is to keep track of all my visibility opportunities. And this goes hand in hand with the mindset as well. This is the exercise that we did together. I encouraged the ladies to write down all of the different ways they have been visible, whether it be something that they created or if they were part of somebody else's platform. And all of them were amazed and empowered to see that they have been visible. Why do we do this? For one, you can be sharing this in your content and say, hey, I spoke here, I did this, I did that. What does that do? It builds clout, right? So the reason why visibility opportunities may not be finding you like they're finding me is because you're not sharing about the things that you're doing. When you speak somewhere, share it, talk about it. Not only is that content, it's clout, right? And the second part of this is you reaffirming yourself that you have been visible, which means you can do it again. So we step again into those fears. If putting yourself out there is scary, well, remind yourself of other times that you did it and it wasn't so bad, right? This is how you coach yourself. And I even told the ladies, this is how you coach your kids. You tell your kids, this is similar to that one thing that you did the other day. You can do this again, right? The same thing you would tell your clients even. If your clients say, I'm so scared of doing this, right? So I have a client that is a sleep trainer, and they said, I'm so scared of doing this. If you compare that to another experience, what was another moment that you actually did something similar that was scary in motherhood? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, it's similar. Let's go here. I will help you along the way. So the same way you'd coach your kids, the same way you'd coach your clients, coach yourself. So keep track of all your visibility opportunities to encourage you, but also to share and build clout and have people be like, oh, if you spoke in there, you'd be great at my group. I'm going to call you and I'm going to, how do you think people ask me to speak all the time? Because I'm constantly posting about it, which means I'm qualified. I know how to do it. I'm not going to mess up. I'm not going to be a weirdo in front of their group. So they can trust, right, that I have a presence, that I have content. So that's another thing that you can be doing. The third thing that I do, and I encourage you to do to get more visible, is, what was it? Repetition. Remember that visibility comes with lots of repetition and repurposing. And we talked a lot about social media content when I introduced this topic. Is what is the easiest way for you to implement repetition and get good at something? Low-hanging fruit, social media. You're not going to go on stage every single day. You're not going to be interviewed in a podcast every single day. But guess what you can do every single day? Put up a post because it's a free platform, right? You can write something. No one's stopping you, right? Do you have 5 minutes? Awesome. Write a post and put it out there. Guess what? That's visibility. and you didn't need an application for it. You just needed to create your social media account, which you already have, right? Put up a post, send out an email. Gosh, it's not rocket science, right? And we make it so difficult. Why? Because those fears again. Oh, but it has to be perfect. It has to have all the bells and whistles. No, it does not. And the more you talk about things, the easier it'll be for you when you get to speaking, when you get to doing a TV segment, because you've already practiced it so much in your lives, in your posts, in your mailing list, in your podcast. It just adds up. It really adds up. So use the opportunities that you already have at your fingertips to become visible. Because many of us are thinking, oh, it has to be this huge thing. I need to be on Oprah. That's the only visibility that I'm going to accept. Well, friend, the road to Oprah starts with you becoming visible on your social media. Because do you really think they're going to pick you to be on Oprah if you have no social media presence? I mean, obviously, depending on what your story is and what's going on, but people look for credibility, right? If you have those logos on your website and all those things, and you don't have to have all of those things right now, but how do you get to a point where you have those things? You start somewhere. So remember, there needs to have repetition. You have to start somewhere. And then when you start, don't stop. That's really the biggest advice for me, which leads me into the fourth thing that I do, the fourth thing that I recommend you doing is to start seeing visibility as marketing, right? That's really what it is. It's that repetition. If you're thinking that getting more media hits is going to excuse you from creating content in your social media and marketing yourself and networking, sorry to break it to you, you will still need it. Because what happens when you have a big speaking engagement? People are going to look you up on social media, right? And if you have nothing there to back your speech with, how are they going to connect you with? Many people are not ready to sign up with you for thousands of dollars in a program right off the bat after hearing you speak. Some will, and some will need to join your mailing list with a freebie, watch some of your lives, right? This is what happens to me. In fact, I will have a couple of my clients join me shortly here on Zoom, and I'm going to ask them about this. But one of my clients, Randi, she saw me speak at an event. She started following me on social media. Then she came into one of my paid workshops. Then she joined one of my programs. She went on to get coached by me to craft her signature talk and speak at one of my events. It's all baby steps, and that's okay. But some people are going to come up to you and say, I'm ready for your biggest package. Do it. Let's do it. Right? But having those stages is huge. So start seeing your visibility journey as your marketing journey. For all of you out there that say, I hate marketing, can we reframe that and understanding that marketing is sharing? Marketing is selling. So if you're saying, I hate selling, then how are you in business? We're constantly selling. That was something else that I really hammered in my challenge, in my coaching experience last week, is to say, you need to be okay with selling because that's what we do. We are in a for-profit business, right? So selling is part of it all. And then finally, my final hack for you is to understand that there's room for you. Many times we stop ourselves from visibility opportunities because we don't understand that there is room for another personal trainer. There's room for another life coach. There's room for another sleep consultant. There's room for another marketing strategist. There's room for another copywriter. There's room for another, what are you, right? Go into a library, go into a bookstore. Look how many books there are, and people are still writing books and publishing books. That's how I coached myself to publish my book. Yeah, there's a bazillion different books out there, but there is not one book with my voice and my story. And the same can be said about speakers. There are so many TEDx speakers out there, but they're still running events, which means they need you. They need more speakers. That's another piece of both mindset and you adding action steps to putting yourself out there, right? I also talked about TV segments. Do you know how long a morning news show is every single day, 5 days a week? Around 4 hours. Do you know how long a segment is? Around 3 minutes. How many segments? Do the math. I'm not going to do it because too complicated. How many 3-minute segments are there in 4 hours? If you're good with math, pop it in and let me know. They need your story on there, right? So it's a matter of putting yourself out there. Obviously, there are specific steps to do this kind of stuff, but it needs to start with you believing that there's room for you. And there is room for me. How do you think I published my book? How do you think I landed a TEDx? Right? How do you think I've been landing more and more speaking opportunities? Just the other day, somebody invited me to MC an event. How? Because I have been working on my belief that there is room for me. There are opportunities for me. Okay. So I hope this helped. Five different things that I do constantly to position myself for visibility opportunities to find me. And as you can see, many of them, or all of them, involve mindset. And then obviously taking the steps to talk about your message. Now, I want to bring in 3 of my amazing clients that on super short notice accepted joining me to share a little bit about their experience working with me to craft their signature talk and speak, which, by the way, I have a fun announcement to make. I am already organizing my next signature talk workshop, and it's going to be in a summit format. So I'm going to have several speakers, and the theme is Mother's Day, obviously. Whether you're a mother or not, I am sure you have a story to tell. So here's an opportunity knocking at your door. That was something else that I mentioned in that week, in that coaching experience, is that you really hit success when opportunity meets preparation. Are you prepared to be visible? Are you prepared to speak if you really want to be more visible and speak? And here's an opportunity for you if you want to speak at my Mother's Day Summit Signature Talk. Here's the invitation. But let me go on and talk to these amazing ladies. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule or out of your abundant schedule to talk to me for a few minutes. So I have Randi Jo, I have Odel, and I have Vita. All of them have spoken at my signature talk workshops. And dare I say they were bomb. They're always amazing events. Randi and Odel spoke at my in-person one, and Vita spoke in the virtual one because she's in Florida. Unfortunately, she's not local, or maybe unfortunately for me, I'm not in Florida.
I know. Come down to Florida.
I know. We need to do one in Florida as well. I will come up with something. Don't you worry. Well, let me see. Let me start with Randi, because Randi, I already quoted you. I was already talking about you in terms of like baby steps of a journey in saying, you know, you're going to meet people when you speak, because many people are like, I'm just going to be a speaker now and I'm not going to have any other offers. And it's like, well, you need to bring people somewhere. They need to go see you afterwards. And this is exactly what happened with us. So I would love to start with you. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do, and I'll refresh the question.
Thanks, Marta. Hey, I'm Randi Jo Pieper, and I work for the state of Colorado as a probation officer. I've been doing it for 19 years, and also a career coach and also a real estate investor. So a certified life coach. And like Marta said, I started out following her in Brighton, Colorado, where I'm from. We went to a chamber meeting, and she was a guest speaker on stage. And it's like, wow, she's got some spunk. And especially being a mother of 3, oh my gosh, triplets is like, oh my goodness. I just love her vibe and her doer attitude. And that's who I am too. It's like, I go forward, keep going, go. But then there's times that I will shut down. But for the most part, when I was with Marta, I learned a lot about who I am in my story. And you always hear like, okay, you have a story, but do I have a story? And Marta's like really helped me. Like, I do have a story. Everybody has a story. And you think sometimes your story is not good enough for anybody to hear. And so Marta was a really good encouragement for me, and was able to get on a TED Talk. I did that as well as an introductory. And it's like, oh, I want to do TED Talk when I grow up. So she helped me there as well. And so I was able to go to Signature Talk in December in Denver, and had such a great time. And what's come of that is I'm on more podcasts for real estate investing. So I have another one here at 12:30 today in Colorado that I'm going to be on again. So I think I've been in a total since December, 5 or 6 of them. Oh, wow. So it's helped me to find that encouragement to do more and teach others. And I also work with Marta as she's my coach, and she helps me, she pushes me, and she believes in me. And that's what I love about Marta. Thanks, Marta.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Yeah. So Randi has gone through the whole thing, right? you did the workshop. We worked on that course to learn how to get involved with TEDx. You volunteered to a local TEDx as well. So you've been involved, getting in the behind the scenes, getting prepped for when the opportunity comes knocking at your door and the invitation for you to speak for them. And then you answer the call to speak at my in-person workshop. In January, we started working together one-on-one for my VIP offer of doing one-on-one coaching for visibility and also human design. So that has been super exciting. And thank you for sharing about the story, right? Oh my gosh, that's such a huge key point of people thinking, I don't really have a story, or I have so many different things that I could say. How do I pick? And we narrowed it down beautifully with like, I still, when I work with clients in terms of their signature talk, I always remember. At times I'm like driving or I'm talking to somebody else and I remember, oh, one of my clients said this. And it was in the signature talk, right? The different things that you ladies come up with, it marks me as well. And it's an amazing experience. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Let's move on over to Vita, because she was in the second iteration of the event, the virtual one. Tell us who you are and what you do and a little bit more about the speaking experience.
Yes. So I'm Vita and I live here in Florida with my 3 kids and partner. And I help women increase their power of attraction 30 seconds at a time. So I'm a certified life coach, specializing in universal laws, law of attraction, and a meditation teacher. And I met Marta in a mentorship program when we were building out our memberships. And she was always in there, even doing visibility when she didn't have this platform. She was always in there. I loved her balls to the wall energy, because I joke about her. I throw my balls around too. And I've worked with a lot of different speaking coaches because I had my story, but I didn't quite have my messaging around the intro into everything else that I did. And the first time I talked to Marta, she just like nailed it. And it felt right. The way that she explained it, she's like, this is how you can tweak it and what you can say. And it's the same thing I talk about, but now it's a little bit more strategic and with intention. And it brought about so many different clarity areas in how I speak and how I'm showing up in my work. And the last time we got on our call, the group call, I was looking at doing events here locally, and we have one.
Oh my gosh.
We have one coming up, and I'm using the course to get to the media to make that impact and get it on TV and get it known. And I'm excited about that. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without her support. And I think that's really important. We can all do it. But it's nice to have that encouragement, or to go in the group and say, I'm doing this, or to get feedback. And I think that's really priceless.
Oh my gosh. So many things that you touched on. And I think it's also beautiful to say, Randi was just starting out. Let me figure out the story. You already had your story, Vita, but we added more structure to it and we added possibilities to it, right? Because then you started repurposing the video of the talk that was recorded for something else, right? You're doing a freebie with it. Tell us.
Yep, I've got it. It's going to live on my website. I use it as a lead magnet. And what's great is it tells people about me. So it's like, if they want to know more, get the link. It's free and you're going to learn how to overcome challenges and obstacles with the framework. So it's a nice way to get people to know who I am with that. And I get to repurpose it. And I'm going to record a couple other videos to have it as its own little course.
Yes. Repetition, repurpose. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And you've really gone to town. I got to say, Vita, I'm so proud of you, because she's constantly popping into our private Facebook group saying, I just pitched to TV. Somebody just connected with me and we're creating this offer together. And I'm doing this, or she's, I'm pitching to speak. What should I say in terms of how much I charge? How do I start that conversation? And that's what we do inside the program is we talk about all these things and the tips. And, this person asked me this, what do I say in return? And yes, the last Q&A that we had inside the program, you were like, how do you go about doing in-person things? And I threw a bunch of information at you and you ran with it and you're already organizing it. That's amazing. Talk about taking action.
Yep. And I love it. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the support and that encouragement and your energy, because like I said, I've been with a lot of coaches, but the energy and the support and the encouragement and the community really helped me to take that step.
Yeah, the support and accountability makes all of the difference. Thank you so much. All right, Odel, last but not least, she's my latest victim quote unquote. She spoke at the very most recent one on International Women's Day. We got to meet in person finally, because we've been talking on and off since like October of last year or whatever. So you have your own story with me, Odel. Tell us who you are, what you do, and your experience with the whole speaking stuff.
So I'm working on more books, of course, but I did the amazing talk with Marta, and I dream about that for a long, long time. And I had a story, and I think really we all have amazing story to share. But Marta have a little secret how to do it empowering for everyone, not just for me. And that's what I was missing, actually, because yes, it's amazing, but how can I help other people with that? So it was a big, amazing, first of all, to meet Marta in person. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, the support, the energy, and always positive. And what I love the most, that Marta, I just told her that before a few days ago, I'm like, she never pushed us or me to be someone else or to be Marta, another Marta. She pushed me to be me, the real me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always excited to work with her, because I know she will push me and not someone else. So it's amazing.
Aww.
So thank you. It was amazing.
Thank you.
I'm starting to doing talk all over.
And you're doing more podcast interviews as well, right, Odel? You're building your offers now. Using this as a platform.
I'm doing a lot. Yeah, I'm doing, since I have the talk, I can do a lot more. I can do the podcast, and I can do a lot more stuff with that. So I have a real good start. But we need to have that I think we need to have that to go bigger, for sure.
Right. So it really is a stepping stone. Thank you so much. It really is a stepping stone to bigger things. Like before this, I was talking about, I only wanted if I'm going to be on Oprah. And it's like, what are the steps for you to get Oprah, friend? Right? Is getting started somewhere. And this is what we do inside the Empowered Preach program, which I'll just share quickly. You have the opportunity of joining in the group setting and just taking the course self-paced and using the group like Vita has been using to ask questions as you go through the stuff, as you start pitching and everything. And then you have the VIP option, which gets you on my virtual stage, my next virtual stage in May. So if you're interested in crafting a signature talk together, and like all of the ladies said here, we're going to pick what the story that best represents you, that you can then repurpose for other things. This is really like the springboard to other amazing opportunities. And you get to use that video that's going to be recorded for other things, and the repurposing and all of that. And there's also the option that something that I launched recently in January, which is what Randi has been working on with me. That is us working one-on-one for 3 months. And that's when I can get under the hood, so to speak, to help you with your business strategy, with your marketing. I also infuse human design in there. And I can help you with pitching to TV, like all the things that Vita is doing and being amazing on her own with her own drive, and then sharing in the Facebook group. If you need that added accountability, we can do that together. I can help you revise your pitches before you send out to the news anchors, and all the different strategy that goes into that. That's what we get to do. So I'll be sharing more about it in the coming days, but I do need more speakers for my summit. So if you're interested, let's talk. And I would love for you ladies to just tell us how we can find you and what you have been up to before we wrap up. Randi.
You can find me on LinkedIn as Randi Jo Pieper. And I will drop that in the information for you too. So I've just been up to more real estate, working on real estate investing. That's what my passion is. So when I retire in a couple of years, I'll be doing that full-time coaching.
Amazing. So yeah, if you've been thinking about real estate investing, or you started kind of getting your feet wet and you need some advice, some mentoring, definitely connect with Randi. Thank you so much. What about you, Vita?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Stress Less and Be Happy. That's where I give little training videos on your vibration, alignment, energy, thoughts, feelings, all that good stuff. So you can find me there or at the High Vibes Lounge on Instagram as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. What about you, Odel? How can we find you?
You can find my book, You Are Allowed, on Amazon, and you can find me on Facebook. I will put that on the comment. For now, I don't have a computer, Marta.
That's okay. You're such a trooper. Odel was meant to come and share, and she said, my computer is completely dead. I need to go turn it in, but I will log on my phone in my car. Talk about a doer, man. You're prepared. You're prepared, Odel. You're prepared for opportunities to come your way. Thank you so much, ladies. This was lovely. I'm excited to continue supporting you in your visibility journey. This has been great. Well, for all of you out there, you get to be one of these success stories, right? You get to be one of the speakers. Just connect with me if you have any questions about speaking at my next event in May. But go check out Empowered Pitch. I will add in the link and you can go see all the different ways for us to connect.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.